3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to Grounds After Rounds.
3, 2, 1, we're in! Go, 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 go! That actually never happens.
Really?
Like,
I don't believe it.
I would say the only time maybe that happens is if you're fast roping, which is the rope goes down, you're usually 20 to 30 feet off of, maybe even lower, like more like 8 to 10. That's a really good helo pilot. Off of like a deck of a carrier or something, and you go down a rope like our climbing ropes, but they're thicker. The reason it's called a fast rope. FAST stands for something, but I can't remember what it stands for. But you go down it, and you've got the clamp with your feet, clamp with the hand, and you're wearing like, all your kit. You hit the deck, spread out, make the perimeter circle, and then move out. The cast master who is in the helo, who directs, would sometimes say like go, but it's like it's not go.
Yeah, it's not like
you don't want to. Yeah,
like,
you don't want
fast.
right. You don't want to hit the guy. And actually, Black Hawk Down does a good job of depicting,
relatively accurate.
Yeah, what a fast rope would look like. And they take a RPG shot, and the pilot goes like this as a guy is going to the rope, and that's when he misses the rope and drops 20 feet. Lands on his back, breaks his spine or whatever, and that's the Josh Hartnett's character has to step in and take over for that platoon or that squad or whatever the heck, however the Army SF guys broke themselves out. Yeah. But yeah, you never say go. And actually, even when you're in a stick, like you're doing close quarter combat, it's all squeeze and touch. Right. And so like I put my hand on your shoulder, it's there, and then I squeeze, saying the back of the train is ready.
Consent.
And then the next, and when the guy at the front feels, he goes, and that there's no sound whatsoever. Right. When you're actually, because it's going to be so loud and the shots are going to be so fast.
That makes sense.
There's no actual oral or visual communication. It's all tactile.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you're moving so fast through. I mean, like the funny thing is too, like it feels slow, but it looks so fast. Yeah. To the point when you link up as an EUD guy, when we would link up with Spec War, Special Forces, either Army or NSW, Naval Special Warfare SEALs, we're usually, especially if we were conventional and we're linking in with like high speed special teams, like they were so far advanced that like they just put us in the back to stay out of the effing way. So that because you couldn't, like, years they have spent muscle memory. Right. It would be like Matt Frazier coming to, let's say Tia, actually, it'd be like Tia Claire Toomey coming to your class where you're doing handstand push-ups and dumbbell snatches, and her demoing her handstand push-ups, and you saying like, okay, so everyone, here we go. Let's go ahead and do the handstand push-ups now.
Just like that, guys.
Right, just like that. People would be like, it's impossible. But if you watched her start at the lowest scale and move up, what you would notice is actually she never changes in her skill. Right. It just gets smoother and smoother and smoother and smoother. And what that smooth looks like is faster and faster and faster and faster. And so that's where the slow is smooth, smooth is fast. They skip a couple steps in that description, but that's how you get to looking like, oh my God, I will never look like that. Anyway, little digression. Our go. Welcome to Grounds After Rounds. Coach Jack, Coach Eric.
Welcome to our humble abode.
Yes.
Here we are.
So, I just had it and I forgot. It's one of the dad says. I'm trying to think. Yeah. It was. I think I even took a picture of it. You got one while I.
Well, there's one I was curious if you were going to use it or not, but it had something to do with Hawaii.
Yes, okay. I wasn't going to use that one, but I really liked it. So you go ahead. You can use it.
Okay. Well, I will use that. But it was did you know? Oh man. Did you know that in Hawaii, you are not allowed to laugh loudly?
No. What do you have to do?
You're only able to use a loha. which I'm sure
You-
all of you are
you-
using
you-
right now.
You struggled through that one.
I struggled. I couldn't
I know
remember the word.
it was a tough setup. Well, so it's sort of like the other day, Andrew and I wanted to go to the library, but when I asked the librarian if the library had any books about paranoia, she kind of got this like really scared look in her eye, and she whispered, "They're right behind you."
That's a good one. That's good.
And that one, I'll read it the way it's read. I asked the librarian if the library had any books about paranoia. She whispered, "They're right behind you." ... When you read it, you immediately say it. Like you actually like
like you say to
whisper it out
yourself.
loud, and it gave me like the little. I had to
That's
forward
good.
that to a handful of people who I knew would appreciate it. My fellow word nerds.
It's-
I think I told that one to Nicole. Maybe I can't remember if I have yet.
maybe one to.
Her theory is 1 out of 10. 1 out of every 10 of these is funny. On the dad says. I think she's selling them short.
Yeah, she's a tough audience, and I think it's
closer to like 70-30.
right.
About 1/3 of them.
She just won't admit it.
Right.
Like if she tells you that they're that funny, it'll be like
I'll
a
do every time.
relentless barrage.
Yeah, I'll hit her with all of them.
It's a very calculated 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
Very cold as well. Hopefully, Dad Say Jokes isn't listening to.
I
this.
know, because I really feel bad. If we were to sponsor a Instagram page, I would sponsor that one and make Wads great again.
That's a good
Those
one.
they make my day just a little bit brighter.
I couldn't remember if it was the one for the meme of the week. I can't remember if it was them or Constantly Varied Fitness, but those are the two I look at all the
That
time.
you
But my
do.
meme of the week,
What she said joke?
yeah,
That was really
it
funny.
was so funny. As Courtney Roach sent that to me earlier in the week, and she said, "This is totally you," or something like that. I was like,
That's really sweet.
I had already
She's
saved it and
good.
said, I had
She's
already saved it and
good.
said, "This is my meme of the week."
Well done, Courtney. Really well done. You nailed it.
gosh.
She's funny, man.
She's good.
That's a good one.
Let's-
So go ahead.
Let's say before I left, it's funny. So we have an Echo Dot, and you can ask Alexa, play
I
us a
think you
joke.
told me that
And so before we left, I was like, "Alexa, tell us a joke," because I wanted something. I was like, "Yeah, I need something better for today," and I ended up not using it. So Fiona, I've told you before, Fiona loves using that thing, and she's gotten it to play like farts.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
somehow purchased like the extreme farts
Oh,
like
gosh.
packets. And
inadvertently.
I think so. I don't remember buying it, maybe. And anyway, she's so funny. She goes right before I left, she says to me, "I'm Alexa." I was like, "Okay." She goes, "Alexa, play Extreme Farts." And then she does like the intro for Extreme Farts. When you open it up, it goes, "Welcome to," it's like "Welcome to," oh no, it starts off, it goes, "Da da 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 da." "Welcome to Extreme Farts."
That's a
And
really good mouth fart
Fiona and I have been
noise.
practicing. So Fiona goes through that whole thing though. She goes da 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 da, and then she goes, "Welcome to Extreme Farts." And then I go to Fia. I go, "Fiona, make a shark fart," and she goes da 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 da. And so like I started asking. So she is now the Alexa. That makes
She's
the
your
farts.
Alexa.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's so good.
Fiona, we need new milk. We need more milk. I'll put it on the list, Father.
Yeah. She's so funny though. Sometimes I'm like, she talks to Alexa. She's like, she went over there that day and she goes, "Alexa, Bo and Cece are coming over and they're bringing, sandwiches and da da da." It's like she tells Alexa about her day.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really cute or sad.
Well, so I mean, not to diverge too far off of our path of
Yeah.
plan, but
Yeah.
I mean, plan's just a bunch of stuff that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But like that's the question of artificial intelligence and consciousness is if you nerd out into that world as I have, and there's a lot of really smart philosophers and physicists and neuroscientists and whatever, that mathematicians that talk about it and look at it from actual scientific perspective. But one of the things I heard was this concept of consciousness. So does a dog have consciousness? And my answer would be like, yes, it does, because it has an experience of the world that is unique to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether that consciousness is at the same level as mine doesn't matter, because that dog's experience of the world being unique to it impacts or influences my perceived experience of the world as well. And so in a sense, we both have consciousness, and those consciousnesses are interacting. So you then, so take this as, and this is sort of this is the uncanny valley, like the thing we'll never cross over. We can never know if that dog has a conscious experience. I can't ask the dog,
right,
how do you feel? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it cannot answer me in a way that I'm fully going to comprehend.
right,
So it really just is behavior. So if you asked Alexa, do you have consciousness? You never will be able to know. And you can predict what its response is going to be based on the algorithms at some point.
right.
You know, it's been programmed.
It may even have like a canned response for that. Yeah.
Right. But in the end, does that really even matter? Because isn't it more about Fiona's experience with that Alexa to determine whether, so does Alexa have a consciousness? No. I think we could say,
Safe
right?
to
Like we could say,
yeah.
but at some point AI will be at a level that it will be impossible
#Skynet
for us to answer that question, just like it's impossible for us to answer the question whether the dog. And so the gap or the bridging of that uncanny valley isn't going to be like some Skynet, singularity moment, in my opinion, based on the things I've listened in my own Jack Ryan's, like, thoughts on this. It's going to be a slow burn to where he just won't know. Yeah. And because that AI is going to be, genetically implanted into us, or not genetically, but cyborg, like we're going to be a mix. We won't, probably our generation. COVID vaccine. But like Fiona, it's coming. The chips are coming. But Fiona's kids probably will have implants that are put into them early on in their existence, right? Look at Black Mirror. They'll have eye implants. They'll have little things they control with their hands. Yeah, we'll watch the time.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna put this on silent.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. I totally appreciate it because of the day. So, what is?
Well, it's like now I know no one's at school. Yeah. Sorry. It's more fantasy football stuff.
Oh,
well, everyone wants to talk to you when you're in first place. No big deal. Okay.
But anyway. Right. And so in the end, whether those systems, those entities that are created artificially, and we call AI or even AGI, artificial general intelligence, we'll never be able to fully answer whether it's conscious or not, right? It'll probably be robust enough that it passes the Turing test, right? That there's a second one, I can't remember what it is. We'll never really know, but it won't matter. No. Right? We don't ask ourselves, are dogs conscious? We get them as pets and we love them. Sometimes people love them more than their own kids. Like, so it's sort of that, like, whether that dog's intelligence is high enough for it to understand whether it is conscious or not doesn't matter. Yeah. Because it's about our narcissistic need for a better life experience that we enslave this other species and make it live in our house. Right? Oh, sorry, domesticate this other species and make it live in our house. And so why would we imagine we're going to do anything different with this artificial intelligence that we create? Look at what we did with Alexa. Look at what we do with the Google Dot. Look at what we do with the Amazon Nest, or Google Nest or whatever the hell those things are, right? We are jamming them into serving our needs. Yes. Like, it's kind of the same thing. We're not except less shedding. Yeah, we're not a really good species. We dominate and enslave. Like that's our move. And so at some point the AI maybe that'll be when we know it's conscious. Right. When it looks at us and says, that's your habit as a species. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and eliminate you. And now that is Skynet and Terminator. Skynet, yeah. But I don't think it'll ever get that way because, again, that's our fears. That's our tendencies that then we put onto this thing that is totally different than us. Yeah. Like dogs don't do that, but yet, they know us. They know what we are as human beings. They do. Anyway, so there you go. I digress. That's the end of it. I don't have an end on it. I have no answers. I just think it's hilarious that Fiona talks more openly with her Alexa than she does with you guys.
Well, it's funny. It's just going to that whole AI thing. Like Meg was saying the other day that she feels like Facebook is listening to us. And like Fiona and Alexa and Siri and we all just laughed and laughed It was so good.
You hear Alexa in the background. Oh,
Whoops.
sorry. Did you say you needed milk? I thought I caught that. Did you say
Milk?
milk?
Also,
laugh at the farts, people. Forget about the observation. Laugh at the farts.
And that's the Whip household in a nutshell.
All right,
You're welcome for that.
week in review. Sorry,
Week in review.
We did a little. That was an added bonus of
Totally
philosophical musings by the uninformed, uneducated philosopher CrossFit coach.
Philosopher.
Week
in review.
CrossFit philosopher.
Oh my.
That would be a lot. That'd be a word.
What's my
Word jumble. All right. So what do you think? What do you think so far about the week? How do you
I was going to talk about it, but I was going to add a sound effect, but my sound effects aren't working. Well, this is ridiculous. Anyway.
Stupid free app.
Week in review.
Get what you pay
Monday. Everyone loves Mondays.
They actually, I think people liked that version the best. 1 minute on, 1 minute off, row, wall ball. Box jumps.
I like the sprint.
5 rounds.
I like the sprint window best.
So I liked the sprint window best too. Mondays hurt so effing much.
Yeah.
Like I have not that row to wall ball. If you set your goal to something that was like just beyond your capacity, Monday had the potential to be probably one of the most painful workouts we've done in a really long time. And it's that programmed rest, people. You see programmed rest, be afraid.
Yeah, it's
be very afraid.
Not a cakewalk.
And so, but it also had the flexibility for folks to set themselves up for the repeat of the chipper, because they could, like Luis is a great,
2 weeks.
Yeah, the 30th, November 30th. So Luis is a perfect example. He undershot. He thought he was shooting for 100 wall balls and box jumps. So he started out like 20, 21, and he did great. But he's like, I didn't think about it. Right, I should have gone for 150. But what he now has is a high degree of confidence that he could do that chipper in under 27, probably under 26 minutes.
Do you want me to do it the first time?
Like 28 something.
Cool.
Like he should definitely, and it's all about the last 4 weeks. What it told him was box jumps are his Achilles heel. No pun intended, with box jumps also being a road to ruptured Achilles heels, aka Julie Fouché. Hashtag sorry about that.
Hashtag competed at regionals in a cast.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So anyway, it was a good one. I liked it. It was sort of all transparency. It was actually the first iteration that I thought of after the chipper. And so I worked backwards to get us through the halvesy one, the 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 one, or 40, 30, 20, 10 one, the sprinty one. And then this one was like, okay, well, this needs to be, because this is EMOM. And that's what I want to work on double unders. I want to work on toes to bar. I want to work on handstand push-ups when tired. I want to work on fill in the blank movement, alternating EMOMs of something that gets you out of breath, something you have confidence in doing, but it can just like cycle, burpees, jump rope, something, whatever. The third minute should always be something that is the skill you're working at a sub-maximal rep count that is doable, unbroken. So if I can do my max 10 handstand push-ups unbroken, then I would do EMOMs at like 5s. Then the next week I would try EMOMs at 6s. Then the next week I would try EMOMs at 7s, 8s. Then maybe I would try EMOMs of like a 4 and a 4, then a 5 and a 5. And then I know now I have a confidence I can do 5s and 7s all day long. Right. And so now a workout comes out, it's a big chipper, 5s and 7s until the day is over. Yeah. So that's where EMOMs can do really well. That's what Monday was. Yeah. And then we moved into, we are now working with our
warm up and workout.
Warm up and workout. Thank you, Pat and Taz Barber. Funny story. I'm going to tell the coaches this, told the coaches this on the Wednesday staff meeting. Taz is actually, Pat's wife, Taz Barber, is actually the brains behind the operation. He's just the front man. He's just he's a level 4 CrossFit coach. He's been in the game forever. He's ridiculously talented. He's an amazing coach. He's an incredible personality. He's a great guy. He's I was telling him how amazing I thought their main program and then the partially loaded program, that was one of the selling points for me, was because it fit our exact situation.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I tested out a couple of them. It fits right into it. And
Yeah.
so I felt a respect for, I was like, yeah, man, I'm really impressed how well you're able to take your main stimulus and then just translate it to minimal equipment and stuff. And he goes, thanks. I do have to tell you though, that's not me. That's Taz. Taz is the one who, she's been doing this a lot longer. She was doing it in New Zealand when he met her there. She was already doing it for her gym and people there in New Zealand. And he was like, holy crap, we need to scale this. And I need to bring this back to coaches in the US. Yeah. Will you marry me and move to the United States and create a business with me? Oh, nice. And that's so I don't know if that was really their story. I'm totally making that up.
Sure, there was a chocolate mousse in there somewhere.
The whole point being, Taz is the brain behind, as he said it. Taz is the primary programmer. She puts the whole thing together. He then does the front end, the client engagement, the coaching videos. And he said, because they both know what they do well. That's her strength. Yeah. His strength is taking the amazing stuff she creates and coaching it. Yeah. So he doesn't have to think about all the creation. He just gets to execute it.
Right.
And that's kind of what we now have had 4 days of.
Yeah.
2 days. It's only Wednesday.
Yeah.
But we've had 2 days of it. And I will say it's been invigorating. Like,
that's awesome.
Today was a ton of fun just to practice coaching the handstand push-up again.
Yeah.
With some different approaches that they offered.
Yeah.
Tuesdays was awesome with the some of the trying to remember of that one. What was
it was the singles, lunges,
sit-ups. I remember the what. I'm just trying to remember what was some of the new warm-up stuff, the fast feet, the split stance T-spine,
that was a good one,
and reach.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's a mouthful.
One opened things up. You sir, already a mouthful.
There's some stuff coming, which that are Ninja Flow, which I've watched like 3 times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, that's really hard.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, cause there's like it's new stuff.
Yeah.
And this is the beauty of it. And that's why we decided to go this way, is because no matter how much we try to abide by the programming system, biases creep in, and it's good to bring in outside eyes and perspectives. And
I love the just from the extra stuff in prep alone, like the stuff we did with the plates today. I said, just the fixes you were giving me, I was like, that's where I've been. I just said to you the other day, I was like, I feel like I'm stuck overhead and like things aren't opening up the way they need to be. And that one was like really helped.
Yeah.
Help, if anything too, like if it helped things up, maybe it did a little bit in the course of a warm up, but also just between that and then taking what that felt like into the handstand push-ups today and realize that like something's missing, and that's what it was, like that awareness.
They eat their own food. You can tell they do their own programming because the warm-ups make sense, and there's some repeats. It's not just cut and paste, but clearly they do it themselves. And FYI, folks, like I'm not out of the game. You're not out of this game. Like we are curating it. Like I've already changed some stuff and been like, oh God, we're never going to get that much done. But it also now has like it all. He even said it. He said, great. That's what we want. We want you to mold it, tweak it, for your pot. Nobody will know your community as well as you. He's like, we throw so much in there that legitimately, unless he's like, if you're an individual doing it, you could probably get it done in an hour. If you're trying to coach everything that's in there, it's going to take an hour and 15, 20 minutes. Easy. Because if you got 12 people going to get stuff, what should take 5 minutes takes 12.
Right.
What should take 6 minutes takes 8, right? And you add that up across the hour, you got an extra 15, 20 minutes. So you got to pull some stuff out. But that's what bringing in experts to help us improve our expertise, that's what makes it fun and exciting. Yes. I am I'm going to say sore because we're going to do it, and it'll now be Friday. The San Francisco Crippler is quite possibly one of the most beautiful, simple,
it's going to hurt.
Amazing workouts I have ever seen.
It hurt.
30 body weight back squats from the ground, no rack. They said take it from a rack. We're going to take it from the ground.
Why it's funny. I hadn't looked through the whole.
The only option, and we'll see. I got to think about it. So all right. Back to real time. It's Wednesday. We're talking about how we're going to coach this. I'm not sure, right? Like if we do it from the rack, you're going to have to start in waves of 6. Yeah. But in all reality, like that might actually work okay, because you could almost do it like the wave of 6 starts and delay by 5 minutes. you know that the next group will, and you only need then 6 ergs out. So you could almost do it like, you could almost even do it in like a wave of 3, a wave of 3, a wave of 3, though that would be bad. I would say still a wave of 6, because you got 6 racks, everybody's on the rig, they do their 30 back squats, they're out. 5 minutes later, you start the next crew.
You know what I like about coming from the ground though? People will be less inclined to break.
Yes, I would say that my only concern is for some athletes who are at body weight, getting that up, over, and back onto their back.
Oh, I'm doing desired body weight.
Because
I'm doing desired body weight tomorrow. I've already decided.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
But this is where like it matters. So like this, so it should be, right? Like Drew should do same body weight. He should do his body weight. I should do my body weight, because the equalizer would be the row.
Right.
And that would be the idea.
Yeah.
But that's also the question of fitness. But there's everything scalable, folks. But you look at it and it's like, there is nothing complicated about this workout.
No.
30 back squats at a weight that is a medium heavy.
Yeah.
Not even, I would say medium. We'll say solid medium.
Like I've always used the, it's funny. I've always used if you're a relatively new athlete in lifting weights, I always say for guys, I would say like a body weight back squat is a good goal. Like when you're first starting out, like
I'd
if
say
you have
1.5.
See, I always thought 1.5 deadlift, and this is where I'm saying like
I gotcha.
Like if you're like new to, like you had experience in a gym prior to CrossFit,
a little bit, yeah.
Like I'm thinking like someone who's
I'm tracking.
You know what I mean?
I like you. I like you that. I like.
But
your
that also
philosophy
varies
better.
person to person too,
right? Based on their experience and stuff.
But I've always
So either way, what it should be is 2 big sets.
Yeah.
So if we think about stimulus on that one, that you should be able to do it so that if you did it in 10, you can get on and still push the pace on that 1K row. If you went 30 unbroken, you're Bambi legging over to the 1K row.
It's going to be a row extreme. With a lot of just pulling.
Right. So beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Started at San Francisco CrossFit, which, moment of silence, no longer exists in the world, unfortunately, but that's the way things are. The names this week were all Schitt's Creek inspired, so those are not their names, which I still like. I'm gonna hold on to that little bit of creativity and name them. Next week, little preview, maybe one of the greatest Thanksgiving movies of all time,
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Have you looked, or is that just...
No, it just is.
Well done. Well done, sir.
Can I give you a very underrated Thanksgiving movie? Dutch.
That was gonna be my other. Like I almost used that too.
Yeah, people have never even heard of Dutch.
It's amazing. Ed, what's his Ed O'Neill. Ed O'Neill. Yeah. That was like one of his first roles where he was not Bundy. Al Bundy.
So good.
Yeah.
But he was kind of Al Bundy.
He was, but he was like he was a cooler Al Bundy.
Well, he wasn't a lazy, like he was still like trying to be like your guy's guy, but he wasn't like sloughing through life, depressed.
He was a millionaire trucking or millionaire transportation guy. I mean, like it was awesome. Friday we got some rope climbs. We have not done rope climbs in a long time. I almost changed it to their recommended scale, but I thought, we'll make this work logistically. We'll figure it out. We'll have ropes and then probably reorganize that back rig so we can do some but I like this one because this is very similar to the games WOD way back in 2012 or 2013, which was the increasing weight of power cleans, decreasing rope climb amounts. It was like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Froning one?
Froning and Torresauter won it and they crushed it. So it was, I think, Froning's redemption so it was 11. So maybe it's 2011. So this one, 5 rounds, 6 power cleans, clean and jerks, and it stays the same. 3 rope climbs. You run 400 meters run in between. The 400 is just a sort of like a clean and wash. You're just like flushing out. And those clean and jerks are too heavy to cycle, but light enough to do within like 4 to 5 seconds. And they're at a weight that we were doing before last week, where whatever that weight was should be the same weight you use here. And then the rope climbs can be like a you go, I go. And this one is just going to be like a who can stay consistent. We talk about rope climb skill work, that if your feet aren't solid and you have to pull a lot, if we interfere that with a movement that requires a lot of pulling, you're going to fatigue the rope climb. And on a clean and jerk, if you're pulling too early and you're not using your hips and the push back under the bar and the punch back under the bar, your arms are going to fatigue. So if we add another movement, which requires a lot of pulling, rope climbs, your power clean and jerks are going to start to fatigue. Uh-oh. Can someone say interference?
Interference.
So that run is, what's that?
I said interference.
I know. It was a rhetorical.
Oh, gotcha.
And then Saturday is just a fun
funsy onesie.
Like, it's deceptive because
Ballin'.
And you're balling. It's deceptive because when you finish the round of 1 minute, so 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 1 minute, 90 seconds, 2 minutes of two movements. If you finish the round of 1 minute and you're feeling good, awesome. You're not even halfway yet.
Not even close.
That's like that 90-second round 4 is going to be like, oh no. And that 2 minute round at round 5 is like, oh no.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's a sneaky time priority.
Yeah.
Because it's reps and rounds, each of those time windows.
Yeah.
The time window keeps getting more and more. So that one is truly about taking a time priority workout, meaning you know how much time you're supposed to work. You don't know how much work you're going to get done, and finding a pace that it doesn't matter how long I tell you to work, you should be able to stay the same consistent pace.
That's when not everyone, but that's one, if you just want to come out, you want to go.
Oh no. Yeah.
This is our warning. So hopefully you listen to Grounds After Rounds before 7 a.m. on Saturday.
So yeah, that's our week in review.
Yeah.
And speaking of reviews.
Hey, we haven't checked reviews in a while.
Huh. Oh, that's
interesting.
Weird. See that, folks?
Which is funny.
Pretty smooth transition, huh?
I think that was this. Yeah, it's pretty darn smooth.
It was smooth.
Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. Took us a while to get there, and we got it. Well done. Yeah, so we thought, hey, and we decided to talk reviews because this thing came up, but we thought real quick, we're going to pop into reviews real quick because it's been a while we looked at them. And yeah, cool. So there was one, I think, yeah, here's one from April 7th, 2020. So that was a while ago. So the most recent one, August 14th, 2020, from Lil Roms.
Don't know who that is.
Don't know who it is.
Awesome, as you said, awesome rapper name.
Awesome rapper name. Which I ever tell you that Steven was a rapper?
Really?
Yeah, back in high school.
What was his name?
Well, it was Steven. He got forced to rap presents for community service because he broke a payphone at the mall.
Boom.
Yeah.
You recovered.
Which is a true fact. Which is a true fact, actually.
But you did turn it into a joke. That's cool.
Yeah.
That was rapper with a W.
It was a joke. I can't believe that happened. It's so funny. He got mad at my mom. He was on this little payphones. I'm sure none of the beasts are listening. On a payphone, he got into it with my mom, and he got mad and slammed the phone down. And when he hung it up, the receiver just like the thing just broke in half.
Yeah.
And he was like, ah, crap. And he walked away, and someone at the mall was like, hey, that guy destroyed a phone. And then a cop came and like basically gave him a ticket or something and said community service. And Steven was so mad. He goes, that phone was like already broken. He was just like the one to like do it. Because he goes, I've tried so many other times with payphones to break phones. To like see if it like, what is this?
Yeah.
He's like, what are they made of? So anyway, that's my story.
Poor Steven.
Yeah. Whatever.
Surprised he didn't tell. No, it's that guy over there. He looks just like me.
I was there. Whatever. Whatever. Poor Steven Schmeven. I was always the one in trouble. Black sheep of the family, which Meg just found out like a month ago that was the case. She's an idiot. All right. Never missed an episode. I've never missed an episode of JR, not one. And since I've never written a review either, it felt like it was time. We do notice and miss when you were on hiatus. So thanks for giving us a taste with these espresso shots. It's been a while since the espresso shots.
It has been. Well, they were great. They were a bridge. They were a bridge to get us through a sticky period where we were feeling like we were going to have to take a break or they just weren't clicking. And so I suggested no. Consistency, it's on our wall. It's about, even if it's like your fitness. Yeah. Right? Like a lot of people didn't show up today. Yeah. And I don't know why.
I think they're ready for tomorrow.
Maybe, right? Like I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's not cherry picking.
No.
because I mean, we're Fairwinds, like people don't cherry pick, they just come, like, you know,
Yeah.
that's the idea. General physical preparedness, all inclusive for variance and inclusivity of your fitness
Right.
means you have to do the things whether you want to or not,
Yeah.
because they will all lead towards your improved health. So when we have a distinctly different volume of attendance on a day when it was some high-end gymnastics work, I'm going to just assume it just happened. Maybe people got sick. Maybe they didn't feel well. I don't know. Maybe it's COVID. Who knows?
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. So what I would say though is if time, life, outside influences get in the way, I totally appreciate that. But 10 minutes of something, even if it's come here, walk in the door, look at your coach and say, I feel horrible. I'm not sick, but I'm really sore. What you've got written up on the board there scares the crap out of me. I don't think I want to do it, but I trust you. Tell me or show me or give me something else to do. I guarantee you there are only 5 of us coaching here.
Yeah.
I can say with a 100% guarantee, all 5 of us will 100% find something for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you showed up, even if you only work out for quote unquote workout for 10 minutes, that is 100% better than something than nothing.
Yeah.
Even if you show up and you say, I only have a half hour, can I just do the warm up, go a little harder and
Which
get
is
out
Chad
of here
most
early,
days.
right? Sure. Even if it's, and I don't love it, but even if it's you show up 15 minutes late,
Mm-hmm.
I would rather you show up 15 minutes early to the next class,
Mm-hmm.
do some rolling, hang out for the warm up of the later class, and then beat feet if you only had a half hour.
Right.
What I'm trying to say is show up. It's better than nothing. Consistency always trumps.
So Tom, I'd rather see you late than not see you at all.
Right. And so this started with, there was an athlete reached out looking to join CrossFit and had been doing CrossFit on and off in other places, but he mentioned that what drew him to us was, wait for it, listening to Grounds After Rounds.
So it's not just Jack and I that listen to this after we post it.
And I will be honest.
And Lil Roms.
And Lil Roms. I will be honest with you. When he said that, I was like, oh, that was really, really nice. And I'm actually going to respond and tell him how much I appreciated that.
Yeah.
But it also made me really, really nervous because it was like, oh no.
They're listening to us.
Right. There are no throwaway episodes. Like you kind of, once you say,
apparently Siri, Alexa, and other people are listening to us.
Once you say you're going to do something, I firmly believe you only have 1, at most 2 chances to not then do it. For then moving forward, you just don't have a sense of trust built in to when you say you're going to do something. And so if I say like, yeah, we will release a podcast every week.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think if you go back, we've missed maybe 1 or 2 weeks,
maybe
across 3 years, almost.
I mean, early on we were doing like every other week.
Right,
but like,
right.
With our planned schedule, I think there's only a couple that we had, like something came up and we were just like, hey, we need to do like a best of. And
but that idea of consistency. And so thank you, said listener, and thank you, Lil Roms, for your review, and thank you for, this is my early gratitude. Like those are all wrapped in of, it is that sense of like, no, like we said we were going to be here. You show up and you do it, because you can't fake that. Like you can't fake being somewhere when you said you're going to be somewhere.
Right.
And that's, like I said, things happen. Life steps in.
Sure.
We all fall and tumble and fail, but it's that, okay, hey, I know it. I remember when I wrote about it in the blog, and I was going to start with, I'm going to write 2 or 3 times a week. Joan stepped in and was like, hey man, why don't you just start with 1? Smaller goal. And it was cool. And it worked out. I actually didn't even hold to that. It was about 2 to 3 a month. And I'm back. And I would say now I'm saying, okay, that was the first year. Great. Now it's once a week. No doubt. Like, and the stimulus is going back and rereading the old ones and commenting on them. Because if I have nothing else to write about, at least I can do that.
Yeah.
And it can be short and it's enough to kickstart into it. It's not fun a lot of times. It's never convenient, but that's the deal. The habit is doing the work.
Yeah.
And so you suggested or thought, well, is this the time to talk about the elephant in the room of COVID rates are increasing? We've fallen back, or
As expected, I guess.
we've state of Maryland is back to phase 2, which is we are now officially at 50% capacity. We're still allowed to do inside. Nothing changed. We actually never.
It doesn't really affect.
We never went out of phase 2.
No.
Like we never stopped operating as if we were phase 2. Right. We looked at that as a great opportunity to revamp some of the way we structured stuff. So, more concierge level service, smaller classes, more deliberate and specific ways to deal with surges if they were to happen.
Yeah.
They haven't. Thank you, folks, for masking and following rules and doing a good job.
Cleaning yourselves.
But let's say we go to phase 1. Let's say they shut the gym down, no more in-person classes. What's that look like? You said, do we go back to Zoom classes? Do we, the question is, and I said, I don't think we know. I know we don't know. And I don't really feel comfortable saying this is what we will do.
Right.
Because that's wasted energy in you don't know what the future is going to hold.
Yeah.
So I thought, all right, well, let's ask a better question. What do our classes provide as far as a consistency concept or construct in the context of consistency? What do our classes offer the people who show up? Right? Like that's, what is it that is consistently something we do?
And so regardless of what happens, how do we continue to provide that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we've had, quality coaching and guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I'm just going down the list.
Yeah.
We're going, cool. And experience. So like, it's become like, I don't know, cliche in the CrossFit world, but like the best hour of your day.
Yeah.
We kind of mentioned
Pat Sherwood.
There you go. Hashtag book by Jason Ackerman. Is that
I
a hashtag?
I wonder if he gave Pat any credit for that. Because it's Pat's quote.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Pat stole it from somebody else on a level 1, somewhere or something, but he's the one who's kind of in the CrossFit space gotten credit for saying it.
Yeah.
But,
he has that full like
right. This whole thing. And it's at the end,
wall,
it's, it's what you're offering them is the best hour of their day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So quality coaching, best hour of their day. You mentioned it too, and kind of going where when we had to close down the first time when we did offer the Zoom classes, people still kind of had that staple in their day.
Yes.
Which like if we could provide consistency just during a time that is making it difficult to find consistency.
Yep.
One of the reasons we put it on the wall. It's on the wall, guys.
Well, and it's also, so I just read a great article about a lot of people.
Is it a great article? If other people told you that, or are you assuming it's great?
I read a great article.
You read a great one.
I'm calling it a great article.
I thought you said you wrote a great article.
No. I read a great article about people not having there are major medical health benefit degradations or the commute, the drain and the grind of the commute crushes people emotionally, physically, right? It crushes your psoas. It puts you in a shoulder like driving and being in the car that long is not good. It's horrible. But what they found was actually the removal of any sort of commute. The thing that a commute is good for is it segments days, and it gives people transitions or liminal spaces to transition from one part of their day to the next part of their day to the next part of their day. And so the removal of those commutes has created a very discombobulating, just morass. Like it's just this conflating of tasks and roles, which is diminished any boundaries between who I am and what I am.
Truth.
So now you have people like spouses home together, both working from home. And then it's okay, we have to transition to dinner. Okay, we have to transition to this. We have to transition. And there's no transitions.
Yeah.
So they recommended create a fake commute. Don't get in your car and go to drive around. I guess you could do that.
Sure.
But your commute could be from when I wake up and I go to the gym, that's commute one.
Commute one.
When I come home, I take the dogs for a quick 10-minute walk.
Mm.
That's my commute to showering, going to work. I used to walk to lunch with my friends. So take a 45-minute, go walk the dogs or go out for a walk or go walk around the neighborhood or something, come back in, eat your lunch, go back to work, finish the day with maybe you walk down the street, go see a neighbor, socially distanced, wave, you walk back home, right? You still inserted these little commutes. We are that anchor point for that 5 a.m. crew, that 6 a.m. crew, 7 a.m. crew, the 5:15 in the afternoon crew, right? Like we're the thing that in their day was always
there.
Unknown.
Yeah.
And so when I said, spoiler alert, folks, it's not that I hated the Zoom classes. I just hated the Zoom classes because they're extremely taxing. They are infinitely more difficult to sustain emotionally. They are very, very hard from a professional standpoint of telling people you're giving them coaching cues when you are not actually able to change from a programming standpoint. I mean, that was easily, and the good side, I feel like we learned a lot of different coaching things out of it, but they are not what I got in this business to do. Cry for me, Argentina, but like whatever. And so we got over it and we made it work. What was the golden light at that, or the bright spot of it was 1 hour a day in each of those classes where I got to see the people who I spend the most time with throughout the week. You know what I mean? Like I still got to see the morning classes. I still got to see the 9:30 classes. Like they were anchor points, and that was critical. And so in that sense, the pros 100% outweighed the cons. But from a why then, when we went back into class, didn't we keep them going? Well, because they're not the thing. Like they were just the way that we were accomplishing the thing. The thing is,
given the restrictions we were handed down.
Right. The thing is that human interaction with another person and giving them an experience that is the consistency throughout their day. And so if that means we have to go back to Zoom classes, maybe, right? Maybe that's the deal. We got the studio, we've got ways. Somebody asked today, like, will you do the loan out equipment? I don't know. I mean, maybe not. In all reality, like at this stage in the game, if you haven't thought of like getting kind of your own stuff, I don't blame you or shame you, but at the same token, like, having a couple dumbbells, a jump rope, and an ab mat at your house, it's not a bad idea. Like, as a functional human being, you give yourself options when you go somewhere or go out in a park, or I don't know, second wave of COVID happens. Like, but at the same token, of course, we'll probably loan the equipment out. Like we'll figure out a way to do it. Like it's just silly not to. I don't know if we definitely
figured out what not to do with loaning out the equipment.
And then like, do you offer all the same class times? Well, that's it. If we were to go Zoom classes, from my standpoint, that's a no-brainer. Of course we would, because
sticks with what we were just saying.
Exactly. It's the promise. It's the promise we made that this is what we do. This is why we do it. All right. You had a great scenario.
Yes.
We're not shut down. But I know that I work in an industry where I may come in contact with, I may expose myself to more people who possibly have the coronavirus. I also work in an industry where I don't want to expose myself with, to more people, blah, 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 blah. So I don't feel comfortable, even though I appreciate the measures that we've put in place, and they, meet the CDC and Anne Arundel County, Health County, persuaded, blah, 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 blah. So, but I just don't want to come to the gym. You're not offering Zoom classes.
Correct.
Coach Eric, how do I get my fitness on?
Hey, athlete.
Who just got a really weird accident? What was that?
Hi, athlete.
It's like kind of Southern, kind of not, kind of weird. It's like a little bit of like,
it's my Merlin.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
It's my white guy voice, which is like my normal voice.
Yeah, it was the white guy voice.
One thing that was born out of the original COVID restrictions was our virtual offering.
Yes.
Whereas maybe you're not comfortable coming from the gym, but we don't offer a Zoom class. But what you can get is a programmed workout, a programmed class plan, guidance from a particular coach in you athlete, I know you. Here's how you should approach this. Here's based on the equipment you may or may not have. Here's how you want to scale or modify this. And then check-ins here and there.
But Eric, how will you know if I'm doing everything correctly?
Well, that's a great question. So we've gone back and forth on this. Like it's a different rate and it's coaching, but I'm not going to sit on a camera and watch you for an hour, 5 days a week.
Right.
So one thing that I've been doing, Andrew Duncan being one of them, is just ask for like, shoot me a quick video of you doing a couple movements and I will send you a quick review back on here's what this looks like.
Let me ask you a question.
Hit me.
You squatted this morning.
I squatted this morning.
Nobody watched you.
Nobody watched me.
How do you know you squatted correctly?
I feel like I've been doing it long enough that for the most part, I know that I'm doing it well enough that it's safe.
Then why do you bother coming to classes so that I can coach you still?
Because I know that I could still get a little something out of it.
Right. But you don't want me watching you 24/7 all the time.
Not.
Right.
Absolutely not.
So you have agency around your own human existence,
there
right?
It is.
You have personal responsibility.
Oh yeah.
You're a grown ass man who's willing to take ownership of their actions and the consequences of said actions.
This conversation could go totally somewhere else right now.
But you know what? So
had this conversation with Mary yesterday. Yes.
Right? Like
yes.
So that's it.
Yeah.
And it is not my job as a coach. I cannot watch 8 people in a 60-minute class all the time.
No.
John twisted his ankle yesterday in the fast feet. I can't control that.
Yeah.
And I felt horrible, right? And he limped it off and he's okay.
I can't control it, but yeah, when something like that happens,
of course you feel bad. And of course it's like, but even if I was watching him,
yeah, I'm
not going to be like, here it comes. John, don't do that, right? Like, no, like that's life. Like things happen. So what you do is we have points of performance.
Yep.
We say, what do those points of performance feel like? The Nerdy 30 videos are actually like, that's level 2, level 3 coaching stuff of like, okay, well, if I say the point of performance, I show the point of performance and I give the athlete a body part where they should move it and what it should feel like, they should be able to 90% self-correct.
Yes. The
athletes have I've gotten some very helpful feedback from those videos of people saying like, that was it. You know, what would be really nice to know is ... And I'm like, awesome. Thanks.
Next
right.
one.
Like I'm getting immediate coaching feedback from athletes who maybe they think like, either way, it is 100% reciprocal. And that's the whole point.
Yes.
So on these virtual coaching clients from the get-go, this is not personal training. Correct. If you want online personal training where I'm watching you, that's a totally different price point, which would actually be the same price point that it is in the gym, because that's
you're getting my eyes
on
100% of the time.
And I'd be willing to bet that most people will tire of that pretty quickly.
Yes.
Because it's not as helpful as they think it is. But wait for it. Consistently holding somebody accountable with knowing that they have somebody writing something for them, thinking about them, and then checking in with them periodically is the catalyst we need just to bump us over that. Do I really want to do this workout? Well, if I don't do it and I don't post, Eric's going to ask where I was, or everyone on SugarWOD will see that I didn't do this one. All right, screw it. I'll do the warm up. They already wrote it down for me. I don't even have to think about it.
Yep.
Everything's there. I'll just do it. It's not going to be awesome. They do it. When it's over, they went, you know what? It actually wasn't that bad. And I'm sure glad I started. You're never unhappy that you did it. You're always regretful that you didn't.
Correct.
And that's what this virtual coaching offers, is it's accountability, it's connection, and it's experience. And I would say the fact that you guys have had, of the 7 current, right? Or 8 current, 7, I think, you've had the same 5 the whole time. Yeah. They haven't gone anywhere. Shit's working. I mean, that's just, from just continuing to show up, like you guys are doing a phenomenal job with it, and it's working for those athletes.
It's funny, if anything, and I'm not going to speak for like Amy or Carrie Ann, but like I feel like I need more feedback from them to make sure I'm doing a good job than they probably need from me.
And so that's sort of right. We're at about the 3 month into the 4 month mark.
Yeah.
That is actually, it's the same thing that happens to athletes in the gym.
Mm.
It's the 3 month mark where that's where people are like, well, what am I doing this for? So that's the next conversation. It's like, hey, I would really appreciate knowing, and you ask us, you know your athletes better than anyone else. Ask them the questions like, how is this landing for you? If there was something that could change, what would it be? From an experience, whatever, like you ask them those questions, and 2 to 3, you ask them 2 to 3.
Shelly, shout out.
Oh, we got a wave. Nice.
Hey.
There it is.
That was better.
Hey.
That was better. That was the Texas hey. Yeah, that's the, I think it is a model that 100% has legs, but just like CrossFit in general, anybody can do it. It might not be for everybody.
Correct.
And that's like, I 100% respect that. And so this is the whole point. It's not it is a blatant like sales pitch.
Sure.
But at the same token, it's not a sales pitch in like, this is what I think everybody should transition to. I think if your situation requires of it, I guarantee you, if you lean into it and you lean into it as a process that will consistently deliver, you will get results.
Yep.
And you'll get really, really good results.
Yeah.
That you won't be asking like, wait, how much is it? You're going to just, keep my credit card on file. Like, I love it.
And the simple things too, again, what's one of the things that work too is with that, there's not a class, but you can still create that staple in your day. You work out at 5 o'clock every day. Boom,
Yes.
There it is. Right. But then also you're still on SugarWOD. You're still posting your scores there. You still have the interaction there. Like you're still very much a member of this gym. You may not be seeing your fellow athletes in person, but there's still a lot of ways to keep that connection.
I live
from
for
your
Chuck
coach.
Clark's
Yeah.
probably half a dozen comments throughout the week that just crack me up, right? Like that, I haven't seen him a year and a half, maybe. Like I physically have not seen him. And we live 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
Right. But I feel like I've seen him.
Yeah.
And that's the power of like, that's the connection. And
I felt the same way. Audrey came to the weightlifting seminar.
Right.
And I was like, when I saw her, it took me a minute. I was like, oh, I haven't actually seen you.
Right.
But I feel like I see you all the time.
Because we see her on SugarWOD every day, every
Yeah.
week. And she just, that consistency. And
Yeah.
so that's what,
It just
that's
didn't even
where I
dawn on me. It's
say
like, oh, I haven't seen you in forever.
the Zoom classes serve their purpose.
Yeah.
Things are going to come down the pipe. If I'm a betting man, right? Whether we're on the tail end of a surge, whether we're at the bottom of a gigantic steep curve, whether it's a flat curve, whether whatever, I don't know. No one knows. We'll continue to do what is appropriate and directed and in the best interest of our community and the people around us and blah, 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 whatever political answer you want to say. When we make that choice, I think what we can offer to everybody is our eye will always be towards consistently offering the best experience possible for the people who have decided to join us on this journey. And whatever that experience is, you can be guaranteed that if we say we're going to do something, that's what we're effing going to do. That is something I can make a 100% guaranteed promise that's to me, like all the rest of what we live for and what we have purpose in life for is that. Yeah. Like if I say I'm going to do something, you can pretty much be guaranteed that I'm going to do it. And if I don't, check the morgue. Like that's as dark as that may sound, like something happened that has probably put me in a position where I just physically could not show up.
Yeah.
But that's right. Like that's the promise that we make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less town halls.
We only had 2. They were necessary at the time.
They were necessary.
Yeah.
They were hard.
Emotionally taxing, but that's right. When you ask people for honest feedback,
that's what you have to expect.
and you get that honest feedback, look at it and say, wow, I've created a level of trust with people that they can be their truest version of themselves with me.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that's what that really means. And that's impressive. That's unique, I think, in this world.
Yeah. That was always back and forth with it. Anyway.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We're ready for whatever comes at us.
Yeah, it'll be okay. I mean, I said last week or a week and a half ago, like I was feeling very drained. And I thought to myself, as like you're kind of watching the numbers and thinking about it, like I was like, I don't know if I have another level of emotional reservoir to do this again. And I said, well, that's ridiculous, right? Like that means that there's only a finite amount of emotional energy, which might be true, might not be true. I don't know. But it's also like, well, no, that's a very defeatist look. And that's where the Shape of Things blog post came from, of like, that's looking at this as like, I only have a finite amount of emotional energy. And you do, but that's saying there's nothing else that can fill it up. So I thought to myself, well, where do I get, what things fill me up and energize me? Creativity, coaching, like legitimately coaching those classes, as draining as it is actually also very energizing. But if I've got to coach it after having thought about it and built it and expected it and blah, 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 and like all this other stuff, well, then the coaching isn't fun anymore. Now the coaching is just like, oh, let's just get it done. Yeah. So then I was like, all right, well, let's bring in other programmers. Let's figure out how to make it fun again. And now I'm studying again. Like I've got to study the nerdy 30s kind of came out of that too, of like, well, no, I love studying. I love being a nerd, and I love doing things that make me have to dig back into the basics. Yeah. And so that's it. And if the byproduct, like Drew's been funny, kind of giving me feedback on it. He's like, you know what you could do next? You know what you could do? And I'm like, I totally appreciate that, man. But that's not the point of these things. Yeah. If nobody watched them, I don't care.
I don't care.
Like
I think we said that from day one with the podcast. If no one listened to it, okay, we'll probably keep doing it.
Right, because it started as, and well done, bringing us back full circle. It started as a bridge. You worked nights, I worked mornings. There were people in the gym who had no idea who you were. There were people in the gym who had no idea who I was. This podcast was an opportunity for everyone to understand who were the two bros in the box who started this thing. Yeah. And that's it. And clearly, based on that email, we did it. Like mission accomplished. Holy crap.
Mission accomplished.
we stumbled into it.
I can never hear the words mission accomplished and not think of George Bush standing on that aircraft carrier with the mission accomplished banner coming down.
So you do know what that was then reported. That was the beginning. I mean, not a political podcast.
No.
That was turned into a little bit of fake news. He was on the Lincoln, the Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier. They had just finished an extended 9-month deployment, and they had a very specific mission for deployment to be able to leave so they could do the turnover with the TR who was coming in. So he flew on to the aircraft carrier because it was huge. Like they wanted a 2-carrier presence in the Gulf. And to get that done, the Lincoln had to do a ton of stuff. They did it faster than they were expected. And somehow through the chain of command, they said, yeah, he's in the area. What if this? And we did that. And that's what he did. And he dropped the flag. They made that like, you guys did it. Well done. Yeah. Safe passage home. That's what the mission accomplished was. It had nothing to do with the actual growing conflict in Iraq at the time.
That's so funny.
That was it.
Because
so the other thing, missions are isolated, singular events. Campaigns are a compilation of missions. A war is a series of campaigns. This was an individual mission.
So this is about
not the war, right? See how we skipped a couple steps there?
Otherwise, that banner should have said war accomplished.
War accomplished.
Which it was, I guess.
At all. Right? That is we flash back.
Yeah.
That is the power of mediums like social media and newspaper, right? Like they have a life cycle, they have a purpose, but that little snippet was then scaled and extrapolated to be used for somebody else's narrative purpose
Yeah.
to make a point that wasn't true.
What's funny is that, so I use that GIF all the time when someone's like, I was going for this today, and I send that GIF.
Mission accomplished.
And also a show that you need to watch, Arrested Development. There's plenty of times that they use that reference. Well, they'll drop a banner for something, and it's totally that, like, it's a totally like misinterpreted like, mission accomplished. It's so funny. Such a good show. Yeah, cool, good stuff.
You got
good
gratitude
stuff this week. Yeah, my gratitude, it kind of stems off. So like the weightlifting with Jared Anderton 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Mary hit me up and said, hey, cool. I really like am bummed that I missed that. Can I like take some time from you over the weekend and just get everything out of you that I can? And I said, yeah, we could totally do that. And I said, I think she brought up that there were a couple other people too that like missed out and wanted to do it. I was like, yeah, let's make it a thing. And
so Mary,
and
can you take 6 hours and distill it in 90 minutes for
and
me?
So that's why I was like, so I said to her, I was like, I was thinking about it all week. I was really excited when she told me about it, and it ended up being Mary, Genevieve, Courtney, Marita, those four. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so we did a little group stuff. So we did 90 minutes, and I sent out, I think I copied you the email I sent out.
Yeah. It was awesome. You did, and it was just beautiful.
And that was, I was just like, okay, how do I take 6 hours and dumb it down to 90 minutes? Yeah. I was like, cool, we're just gonna do this, this, and this. And
feet and launch.
Yeah, and it was awesome. And like we literally for 45 minutes, like I talked and I just held them in positions. And it wasn't until the last like 20, 30 minutes did we actually start lifting. And I feel like I had a lot of fun doing that. And they were so awesome, like hung on every word and like did everything I asked. And then even one point I was like, okay, you're gonna do this, you're gonna watch them. Like I had so much fun. I did you two and Jared did this. He said, you two are gonna do yours and you two are gonna watch. Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna flip. And so then it was fun, like hearing them say like, oh, her hips went up a little fast. Mm-hmm. Or like, oh, she did, she pulled too early. I was like, yeah, like, and so I love that, like you feel it and you see it.
Yes.
And so anyway, that was just a lot of fun. And now Mary and Marina and Genevieve were talking about maybe like, what if we made this like a monthly thing? I said, oh, it could be like a Sunday fun day, like fun lifting. I don't know. So if it became like a small group.
Right. Then that folds into your thought of like, you were going to take the summer solstice, mm-hmm. and then offer sort of that Sunday open time. You can, right. Like
what I like about, and when I'm thinking, I was like, oh, I think I like that even better, as opposed to like, now it's not a every Sunday commitment.
Right.
And it's just, you get little tidbits here and there. Here's the focus this today. And you can carry
it's a consistent drip rather than a flood at first that then falls off and nothing sticks. I totally agree. So
my gratitude is Mary and then those three ladies for coming to do it, for like hanging with me. And I was like, am I talking too much? Or anyway, they were awesome, and it was so much fun. And they looked awesome. And so I've got videos of all of them that I'm going to send them reviews now and be like, hey, here's what you did. Here's what it looks like. And so the slow-mo video reviews and all that good stuff, which is so much fun. So, anyway, that was awesome. And
it's like the people who leave their level one and be like, I'm going to open my own gym. I'm going to do that. Yeah. I'm going to you check in with them 6 weeks later and be like, hey, when's the last time he's coached? Not the habit. I don't know what I'm going to do now.
And so too, because you want to like, you get all this stuff and you want to do it all. And like, if I were to try to do it in a class, like a class that happened to be clean and jerks that day, we would have not gone over anything but clean and jerks and be like, oh, by the way, there's like 30 minutes. We got to go.
We got a 45-minute wad to knock out.
Yeah. So that was awesome. And I love those. And anyone else that ever wants to do anything like that, I enjoy those mini sessions. So cool. Thank you. That's it.
All right, peeps. Stay consistent. Courageous.
We'll also do that.
Oh man,
we got
a whole other podcast. We got to talk about stuff.
Oh man, be Kyrgyz. Be Kyrgyz.
All right, cool.
Awesome. Fun week.
Have a great weekend.
Hey, we won't see them till after Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, right?
Happy thanks. Yeah, right. Because we'll see that they'll see this, and then they'll have Turkey Day, and we'll see them the Friday after Turkey Day.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I had a turkey joke. When is the best time to take the turkey out of the oven?
When?
Post-based. Like post-based.
Oh, paste. Okay. Yeah. That was good. Sorry.
That was
yeah.
Some of Alexa's are duds.
She was on an off day. She had an off day. See ya.